Welcome back to my home. This week I spent some time making some very necessary improvements to our kitchen, cooking, organizing, cleaning, decorating, and all of those fun things. Before I go any further in this video, I want to acknowledge my voice. It's gonna sound a little more nasally, a little sniffly, and that is because here where I live, we just had a basically ridiculous heat snap for February, and it has caused the pollen to kick up like crazy, and everyone is getting seasonal allergies. Even people that don't get seasonal allergies, which is normally me, are getting them worse. So that is what's going on with my voice in this video. Now that I cleared that up, I want to talk to you about what I am doing this week. So the biggest job that I had to do was to paint this piece of furniture that has been sitting in our garage for way too long. We bought this piece in the fall to replace the yellow shelf in our kitchen. I don't know if you guys remember it from previous videos. You'll also see it in a minute. But the yellow shelf in our kitchen was really wobbly, and I have heavy stuff on there just because it is kitchen storage. And I didn't love the idea as our daughter gets older of her crawling around and that being the shelf in the kitchen, because I was just certain that she would pull up on it and that would just not be safe at all. So we bought this in the fall in order to replace that. And then because it wasn't urgent, we never touched it. So as she is getting older and threatening to crawl, I decided that this should take priority. And so the first thing I had to do was clean it. We bought it in the condition that you are seeing right now. Someone gave up on the paint project and put up a marketplace for ridiculously cheap, and it was a very sturdy piece, but obviously needed to be painted. And so that is what I was going to do this week. After I got it all clean and the dust shaken off after being in our garage for months, I decided to go in with primer. Now, typically I am a very tedious painter, and normally I would sand better, but this piece was just, I just didn't think it was worth it, to be 100% honest with you. And so I just put a good 2 coats of primer on and then went in with my paint. So because I know people are going to ask, the color that I chose for this is Mariana Trench by Valspar, I think. And for pieces like this, I always use the Valspar cabinet and furniture paint. I had really good luck with it when I painted my kitchen cabinets, and I think, and my downstairs cabinet. So I've used it more than once and I've always really liked it. I think it wears really well. And I typically go with a satin finish, I think. And so that is what I chose for this particular piece as well, because it was going to be in the kitchen. So I just figured it needs to have a good, solid, sturdy paint on it. As the keeper of the home, I have many roles and I wear many hats, some of which I enjoy more than others. But this one in particular, the decorator of the home, I absolutely love, almost to the point where it feels like something that isn't even valuable because of how much fun I have with it. And I actually asked my husband the other day, I was like, do you like, does it add value to your life that we live in like a decorated home? And he was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. I love being proud of our home. I love that it's put together and decorated. And I love the way that you decorate. And so that made me feel really good, because sometimes it can feel like, because it's so fun to me, it can feel almost like a waste of time or even sometimes a waste of money. And so it felt really good and really encouraging that that is of value to our family and not just something I find really fun. I say all of that to encourage you if you might be in a season where you don't really know if making your home beautiful is worth the time or worth the money, that it probably is. It probably means a lot to the people that are in your home, whether it just be your husband or if you have children. It probably means a lot to them to live in a decorated, clean, organized home, maybe even more than you might realize. So don't ever, just because it's really fun or it might feel like it's strictly for aesthetic purposes, don't undermine the value of living in a curated, clean, organized home. Once I got the old shelf emptied off and out of the house and the new shelf in the house, it was time to put everything back on the shelf in a cute way was the goal, to be functional and aesthetic. One quick thing I want to note, because you guys ask me all the time, is that I use applesauce cups to stack up my Pyrex bowls. So whenever you see these tiers, I think this is my third one, so you probably have seen them before. When you see them stacked up like this, I am putting an empty applesauce cup upside down in between each bowl in order to display the Pyrex. Now, once I stack it up, I normally don't use these bowls, but it's just so worth it to me because I just think they are so cute and it makes me so happy. So that is how I do that. I was able to get everything and more on this new shelf besides our microwave. So our last microwave was much, much larger. And so I got this new microwave from Walmart for $50 and it fits perfectly. And I think it's a lot cuter than our last one. So I was really, really excited about that. And then I just polish off the shelf with a few books and some things I've thrifted over time just to make it look really, really cute. And I'm really excited with how this turned out because it is sturdier, more functional, and cuter than the last shelf that was there. So I am thrilled about that. Later in the week, my husband and I had dinner reservations with friends at one of our favorite local restaurants. And we had been waiting for this for like over a month because it is so hard to get a reservation at this spot. And then we got a ton of snow and we were both coming from pretty far. And so we didn't feel comfortable driving. Now you're probably listening to this and thinking, didn't you just say you had a ridiculous heat snap? And yes, we did. Where we live, weather is crazy. It never stays the same. And so we had a ton of snow this week. And then the next week, the week I'm recording this voiceover, it has been literally above 70 like every day, which is crazy. All of that to say, when our dinner reservation got canceled, I decided that I wanted to make a fancy pasta at home. So this is a pasta that I have never made before. It's a recipe I'm following from Pinch of Yum is the blog. I love her stuff. And my friend has always raved about the date night rigatoni recipe on her site. So I decided to make that. It is a very simple pasta with celery, onion, sausage, kale, a rigatoni noodle, and then also some tomato paste and some spices. I could be leaving stuff out, but it's a very simple pasta. It was really easy to make and I had a lot of fun making it, and so I will definitely be making this again. One thing I did want to know is that the recipe does call for heavy cream, and I cannot have cream. I can do butter, but I can't do cream or cheese or anything else. So butter is the only dairy product that I can tolerate. So I subbed it for coconut cream. In the future, I think I might try and sub it for like butter and bone broth, if that would work. I'm not really sure what I'll do, but I don't know that I'll use coconut cream again because it did make it kind of like overpowering a little bit. I might even just leave it out. I did want to note that though, for the people who follow me and know that I am dairy free, I don't know that I would necessarily recommend coconut cream as a substitute for the cream in this particular pasta. Like most people, when I cook, I'm normally looking for something quick, easy, instant pot, healthy, but normally I'm looking for something pretty simple, pretty easy. And so it was really fun to do a little bit more of a fancier meal and really take my time cooking it. And my daughter napped the whole time while I was making it. So it was just a really fun time, and I kind of forgot how much fun it can be to be in the kitchen, cooking and cleaning and just doing something different, trying a new recipe. And so I think I definitely learned that I want to seek out new recipes, seek out more complicated recipes in the future, because I just had so much fun making this. I've shared this before on this channel, but I am a big clean while I cook person. I just figure that if I need to be in the kitchen anyways to stir pasta real quickly, then I can clean it. And then when the meal is done, I have a clean kitchen, a finished meal, and everyone's ready to sit down for dinner, and I don't have to clean up the kitchen afterwards. So I'm a big believer in getting the kitchen as clean as possible. Now, I won't let hot food sit and not eat it in order to get the kitchen clean, but I do like to get it as clean as I can while I'm cooking so that I can really enjoy myself and rest once dinner is made and done and served. Once I got the pasta all done and plated up, I decided that it would be fun to make a homemade cream soda. So the same friend that told me this recipe is really good gifted me this sarsaparilla syrup and strongly recommended that I make the cream soda recipe on the bottle. So I did exactly that, again, subbing the heavy cream that is in the recipe for coconut cream, and it was super, super good. As you can see, it's a very, very simple recipe. It's just a syrup, a scoop of coconut cream, and some soda water. So that was a really fun addition to our fun, fancy dinner night in home. The last thing I want to show you guys this week is a very fun new addition to our morning coffee routine. So I'm sure you guys have gathered by now that I take my morning coffee very, very seriously. I'm a big latte person and I so enjoy my morning coffee. And for years, I have thought about getting the Nespresso Aeroccino, but I've never really justified it because it's expensive, we don't technically need it, all of those sorts of things. And then my husband and I were thrifting and they had one for $7. So of course I picked it up and I have been enjoying making cold foam with it every single morning. It has been so fun. It feels so luxurious and it makes the best dairy-free cold foam I have ever tasted in my life. So that has been so incredibly fun and a really fun addition to our morning latte. And that is all I have to share with you guys for this week. As always, thank you so much for joining me on our sweet sunny days.